Y'all good, man?
Yeah, man.
Hey,
We
man.
chilling. We chilling,
Hey,
man.
man. Say,
Hey,
man.
you know, hey, appreciate you jumping in here. We had actually another plan for Darnell, but we still gonna do that too. We'll still, depending on what we get done tonight, we'll still do that too. But appreciate everybody. Had a little technical difficulty jumping in here for the first time, but we wanted this thing to be clean, so um, wanted to make sure that we had a good video to post for everybody once this thing's all said and done. So, hey,
Yes,
we're going to get this
sir.
thing kicked off. So, this is a special episode of the State Specific Show where we across the country and the world to highlight local sneaker culture specific to those geographic areas. But today, by the way, my name is Gabriel Fortson, and you can find me at Gabriel Fortson across all platforms. Today, we are going to break down and do a recap of the Black Footwear Forum.
Yes,
This is an event that
sir.
took place in Detroit, Michigan, about 2 weekends ago. And we just wanted to jump on here real quick. Our brother Joe over in Houston, he went in, he did a superb breakdown of it. This was a situation where I think as we can get the word out and make sure that as many people as possible know about what's going on up there, then I think it's going to be more for everybody as this thing continues to grow. So I'll let you guys jump in, introduce yourselves, and tell everybody who you are. Go first.
All right. Is J Will
You can
frozen?
go.
No, he just holding still.
It's hard to tell. It looks
I,
like he is frozen,
Right.
right?
oh yeah,
If he holding it
he might
forward,
be
it's still good.
frozen.
Nah, I ain't. We just gotta let them know. We gotta let them
God,
know.
dog.
Yeah.
Man, that was good. I thought he was
Hey,
frozen.
yeah, for real, for real.
All right. Hey, Dwayne, go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
What's good, everybody? My name's Dwayne, also known as Kicksmusicart. Yeah, that's it, man. Founder of Kicktober, all around sneaker lover. So yeah, that's me.
All right, who wants to go next?
Oh, I'll jump in. Hey, y'all, what up, though? I'm Darnell.
What up,
Um,
though?
Universal Footgear, UFG. Um, like my man Dwayne, kick lover, man. Like everybody on here, kick lover, and
For real.
just love the culture. We are the culture. You feel me?
No doubt. No doubt.
And my name is J Will. Go by J Will Walker, talking on all social platforms. My favorite saying is: "A setback's a setup for a comeback." Let's get it, guys.
Let's get to it. Let's get
Let's
to it.
get it.
All right. So I'm going to kind of give a little bit of a brief of like Pensole Lewis College, right? And then also we'll talk a little bit about the Black Footwear Forum to let everybody know what that is. But Pensole Lewis College was initially started back in 1928 by a lady named Violet Temple Lewis, and she
Mhm.
started it in Indianapolis. It was a business school for women. And then in 1938, she actually moved from Indianapolis to Detroit because it outgrew itself in Indianapolis. So she found a bigger place in Detroit. And then in 1987, the school became an historically Black college and university, HBCU. And in 2015, the college actually went out of business because it lost its accreditation.
Recommendation.
And then in 2020, Dr. Dwayne Edwards actually came together with a bunch of investors and they brought the school back. And in 2021, Dr. Edwards became the majority stakeholder in the school, and he petitioned to have the name changed to Pensole Lewis Business and Business of College and Design.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because their curriculum is based around allowing people to come in and learn about design techniques, about all the things in footwear and apparel that allows them to go out and actually make their mark in the world. So that's the big thing about Pensole Lewis, and that's what makes it different. And then another thing that makes it different is that it's the only HBCU in the state of Michigan. So huge deal for that school to be there and the impact that they're having.
Super
So
dope.
yeah, man. So let's talk about this? What was your knowledge about Pensole Lewis, and then also about the Black Footwear Forum prior to your first time attending? Now, I know for three of us, first time was attending this year. For Darnell, you had already gone before. It's in your city too, right? So you had already been there before. So,
Yeah.
you can talk from a different perspective. Yeah. So like, Jay Will, like, what was your knowledge about it prior to, your attendance this year?
I had zero. Everything I learned initially before, getting my first ticket was from that man right there, Dwayne. So he told me of just the black excellence that came with something that I wanted to learn and know more about because I love sneakers. So
Mm-hmm.
he said he was going. And I was like, "You sure?" And he was like, "I'm going."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." The way you sounding, that means I need to go. Like you
Right.
said it too confidently. I ain't missing this moment.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a moment; it was a movement. So
Yeah.
I know more now, but I knew nothing 2 months ago.
Okay. Okay. But and Dwayne, like, so what did you know about it prior to your attendance?
So like a lot of you guys know, like I've been into like footwear design I've been interested in footwear design. Y'all might know that much, but I've been I've been like seeking it for at least a good 5, 6 years, maybe even longer than that. I first learned about Pensole through an episode, a YouTube, like small little YouTube series. And one of the dopest things about the school that I thought like was jaw dropping was students get to attend the school absolutely free. You just got to be able to get to the school, So of course you have to get into the program just like any other school, but I knew I wanted to be in and around that excellence. So when Black Footwear started, I knew it was something I wanted to do. For the past couple of years, I was unable to actually go, but this year, like everything kind of fell in place. So, like I told Jay Will, I don't know if you gonna be there, but I'm gonna be there. And yeah, so
That's dope. That's dope. So Darnell, you have a different perspective because you actually live in the city, right? So
Absolutely.
like what's your perspective on it? Like how did you learn about it initially? And then, kind of talk about like how that kind of transpired into you, how you continue to participate in and go to the Black Footwear Forum.
Well, really, man, I'm like y'all, bro. I'm from Detroit, born and raised. I mean, I lived in different places throughout my life, but Detroit is home. However, I never knew nothing about Black Footwear Forum until last year. Last year is when I really knew. You broke down the history of it very, very well,
yeah,
and it's still a hidden gem in the city. Like it's still not. It still doesn't get the recognition it truly deserves,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's still on an upswing of growth, right?
Yeah.
oh,
So
definitely.
I
Hmm.
think it's on an upswing of growth, and it's going to achieve. I mean, you guys seen it, man. We ain't even touched on it, but it's still like in a high just thinking about it,
The
right? And
fact,
then I got up on it just by means of I I got a cool relationship with those in the Whitaker group, and I'm not going to name drop, not going to do all that, but somebody in the Whitaker group was like, hey, be there
yeah,
last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? And he was like, just be there. So they sent me this email link and I signed up and I went by myself. I didn't take my wife. I didn't take anybody. I went by myself on the Saturday. It's a whole 3-4 day event, 4 day event.
Hmm.
I went on Saturday and DJ Jazzy Jeff was there. June Ambrose was there.
Yeah.
It was Jay Tips. I met him for the first time there. I mean, it was ridiculous, bro. And I'm like, what is this? And like you said, like you guys lamented, black excellence, bro. It just felt so good to see people of color
Yeah.
under the same roof. Nobody, going at nobody. Everybody is in there for the same purpose. We all have a passion. We all have a creative spirit in some shape or form. And to have us under that same roof like that and just in unity, that is just black excellence, man. It's beautiful.
that's a fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and for me, like I first heard about the school when Dr. Edwards actually reopened it. So I saw it, all the publicity around like Complex and, they talked about his ties with Nike and stuff like that. And so I saw it reopen. I saw kind of what the purpose of the school was, but then the whole Black Footwear Forum piece of it was a totally different thing, right? So I started hearing about that maybe 2 years ago, and last year I saw it and I was like, yeah, I can't go because I went to Art Basel in Miami, so I had to make a choice, right? You know, the bag sometimes get a little light, so you got to kind of make some choices, right? So, so I
Miami,
did go,
Detroit.
right? So I saw Darnell go, and he met DJ Jazzy Jeff. Like Jazzy Jeff is the GOAT, in my opinion, as far as DJs is concerned. So,
That's a
you
fact.
know, so I was a little swole
Legend.
about that, right? So I was like, my guy got the chance to meet him, so I was like, I'm good, right? And then this year, it was one of those things where I saw it, but I didn't know anybody else that was going. So I had put it on my calendar, and I said, well, if I hear some people going, then I'll try to go. But I never heard anything, so I just kind of pushed it to the side. Still thought, well, if I don't go here, I go back to Art Basel. And then I started, I think Jay Will like hit a group chat. It was like, hey, what's up with Black Footwear Forum or whatever. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, some folks that I know is going, I gotta go. Like it's mandatory. And you know, I think it's probably, and I was telling folks while I was there, like we were in the midst of it, and you can tell almost from day one, like my opinion of it was that this is the most impactful sneaker related thing that I've ever been to. Like in all the events that I've ever attended, this is the most impactful. So I think we all concur that it's on the list of things to do every year. Like I'll be back every year, God willing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Book my
Absolutely.
ticket.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Um, so that day one was the mixer at the Pistons practice facility. Um,
That was
for
fire.
Yeah, like for you guys personally, like what type of experience was that for y'all? Like kind of talk through that a little bit.
I'll start, I guess.
Yeah.
So something I learned from Jay Will in networking, arrive early and leave late.
Yep.
And arriving early, especially for this event, had its benefits. We got the opportunity to kick it with Big Sean for
Yeah.
a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
We got a picture with him. Um, you know, we got to see some of the early bodies coming in. Ricky Shubio came in early.
Yeah.
Um, we got to see Wilson Smith the third. Like we got to see the party as it went from like just us being in there to like everybody being in there. And I don't even want to call it a party because really it was a mixer. You got to meet people from the industry, like recruiters from Under Armour, Reebok, uh, individual associates from New Balance. Like, so it's like if you're trying to connect with decision makers in these brands, you know, as content creators, you trying to make these connections, like they there and they
Yep.
open to talk with you. They open to speak whatever, like to really knock down some numbers and gain understanding from them. Like it, yeah. Like it's so much to explain, but I don't want to talk too much. I'm gonna let everybody else talk too.
Well, I'll go with we're talking about the mixer, but from the moment that flight leaving Atlanta to go to Detroit, I had never been to Detroit before, so I was excited because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, Motown.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I'm about to go to Motor City. So I was excited. But if you've traveled anywhere for shoes outside of your city, and you know it's a big event weekend, usually when you touch down, you looking at everybody's shoes and you trying to figure out, are these people going to the event? I know it's a big airport, but you're like, maybe that person's going too. So right off the bat, we didn't even get in the car. We met somebody,
look, bruh.
uh, a designer. We were meeting everybody. It was just, it was truly a movement of understanding the passion that Black excellence in this space that we dominate as buyers, but really getting to see on the flip side the decision makers and the people that are trying to put the culture in these big Fortune 500 brands. So
Yeah.
that was super exciting. The mixer, it was a lot, man. I'm a social butterfly. I'm an extrovert, and it was a lot. Like you talk to so many people. I told everybody it was like speed dating. Like you
Yeah.
had your introduction, you got to find out, and then you had maybe had one point like, so what why are you here? What and then usually y'all would branch. You would go, hey, I want to introduce you to this person, that person. So you talk to someone else pulls you, brings you over here, talk to this person. That it was
Right.
just it was constant movement, flow.
Mm.
It was a lot. And then Big Sean, when he walked in, we were there early, so there's probably only like 7 people in the room at that time. And I think he was coming just to grab some stuff, and he walked over to us like he knew us. I
That's a
mean,
fact.
specifically if you listen to his music and understand his movement, I mean, he came with that same energy, like treat us like regular people. He was like, man, I hope y'all enjoy the city. Check out this place, check out that place. I love what shoes y'all got on. So it was a fun experience. And it was like we were like, wow, this is just the mixer. Like we ain't even got to the
Yes.
what else is, and we were like, hey, it can't get no better, but it did. It did.
No doubt.
Constantly.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's funny,
Yeah.
man. I didn't get to make the mixer on Thursday because I had to work, and I just remember to kind of piggyback on Jay Will. I remember telling Jay Will like Friday. I remember telling him like, "You ain't seen that yet, dog." He's like,
Yeah.
"What?" Like you ain't
Like
seen
what?
that? It's
Nah,
still
bro.
going up.
No,
It's
we just
still
saw
going
Big
up.
Sean. We saw oh yeah.
So yeah, man, I hate because I seen Gabe pictures on Instagram that night because I had to work Friday morning and I just filmed for my YouTube channel. So I was going, and I'm like, nah, I'll just wait till tomorrow. And I seen them pictures. I'm like, oh, I seen it on Joe and Gabe page. I'm like, oh man, I should have went, but it was one of them times I had to work, so I didn't get to make it until Friday. But you know,
I got
Yeah. Yeah.
to run it back real quick, like before we move on. Like Jay Will said, like we knew the weekend was going to be better than we expected when we were in the air. We just landed, got our bags down, waiting for our Uber, and the designer we met. I don't want to say anybody's name. I don't know
Say her
how
name.
comfortable
Say
or
her name.
uncomfortable.
Say her
Fina
name. I'll say
Well,
it.
Say
my
Yeah.
my wife's
her name.
favorite
Say her
designer.
name.
My wife's favorite designer. We meet her waiting for an Uber. Not only that, she like mad, like cool. I asked, can I get a picture? She was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, my wife never gonna believe this. She took the picture and then she was like, look, let's FaceTime her tomorrow. Like this, and I'm like, yo, what?
uh,
All right, cool. So, I see her the next day and all that good stuff. But it's like, that was the preset to the weekend. So just imagine meeting somebody of that caliber when you first touch down. Just imagine everything that happened the weekend, like the rest of the weekend. That was just the start. That was this.
Yeah.
That was this much of the
Right.
weekend.
Right. Right. We hadn't even like stepped off the airport yet, and it was already on. Right.
It was
Um,
on.
and that's the thing, right? So, and like Darnell said, like it's only up from there, right? And once we got to that facility and we got in, like, so you knew it was going to be a classy event. But I'm also thankful for the whole fact that we showed up early because when people started trickling in, we had the opportunity to talk to them without the pressure, right? So they didn't feel like they were being bombarded.
Mm-hmm.
They were speaking freely, and it just kind of became everything kind of culminated from there, right? So I just knew at that point, like we had struck gold, and like you said, day one, we're at a mixer. We're not even officially at like anything that's going on with the event outside of it being in that facility. And it was already one of the best experiences I had in sneakers. So, so the mixer, like we met a lot of people, folks kind of saying, hey, this is what's going on. There was a little bit of stuff after the fact, but day one at the actual college, right? Once we finally made it to Pensole. We had a little detour.
Oh yeah.
We had a little detour. So once we finally made it there, what did you guys think just driving through the gate? Like, so did you expect for it to be that when you were thinking about, hey, this is where we're going?
I guess I'll start again.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I've seen like certain pictures, but the facility, the facility's gorgeous. Like
Yeah,
like when we went through that gate, we come in, we see the PLC, we go through the gate, and it's this big building that looks fantastic. Like it looks amazing.
yeah.
So it seemed like a new build or renovated build, but it looks like money, like to say the least. So walking in, we check in, we I this is when I seen Wilson again with the shirt on, but it's like we walk in and you, you just see just everything looks so good. We check in, there's people coming in from the brands. It just I can't find the words to really even describe it, but the energy in the building almost immediately filled me up. Like I felt home.
Mhm.
It was my first time being there, but
Yeah,
I felt home.
yeah, no doubt. What about you, Jay Will?
I would say, I've been to a couple of different HBCUs over across the United States. So this experience, I was like, oh, okay, the D, like I'm from the South, so like we have a lot of HBCUs in the South, and majority of people think of HBCUs, they think of the South. So I'm coming in with my high hopes, like let's see what this is about. And yeah, I was really blown away with the presentation, the facility, even if you got to go in the different dedicated classrooms and just see how they artistically put them together to honor the classroom what was named after, the scenery for like that the back lobby area where you're able to see Canada across the waters. It was just in the presentation, the attention to detail, the banners, the placement, it was done with excellence. The people checking us in, I told them all week they killed it because they came with a smile. They navigated through, if there was something that came up, they navigated through it gracefully,
Hmm.
and they never seemed like they didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
So, and they were serving us, so it was just a warm welcome. It felt like home. You understood the tone that you were in, that you were going to feel that love, but we about business too. So it was a great experience to uh, experience the college.
absolutely. So, Dwayne, like when you first went to campus, like what was your perspective on it the first time you visited?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My first time, it was just like you guys, man. The facility itself, it's a class A. I work in the commercial building industry. So it's a class A commercial building first and foremost. So,
Hmm.
like Dwayne said, that's money, right? And then you get there and the banner placements, like Jay Will, the location of the building. I'm from Detroit. I work downtown Detroit. I had no idea that building was there. I mean, I knew it was there, but I didn't know what it was, right? So when you get in there and it's like, what? This is amazing. And the different rooms, like Jay Will kind of alluded to, certain rooms that's dedicated to certain creators that's in the industry, for students to be motivated by. Like, hey, I'm in with the Wilson Smith room. I actually went to the unveiling of that earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So being tapped in with them from last year, um, you know, it's just like it opened up the door to so much, man. I mean, we're gonna repeat each other a lot, like Dwayne
Yeah.
said. It felt like home, bro. Like
Yeah.
if you are a creative, any shape or form, whether you are a fashion designer, footwear designer, an artist, a poet, a sneaker collector, a YouTuber, whatever you are, and whatever conduit and creativity you are, that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
That's where you need to be because you will feel at home. And And I love that Dr. Edwards, he positioned that to be that way
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
creatives to feel at home. And it's
Yep.
not no cheat, man. It's like, y'all seen the vendors that was there, man. You got Pepsi there. They like, hey, y'all
Right.
drinking Pepsi and stand right here
Oh,
and hold it like this. They
Yep.
take shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got really like people there, man. So it's like, for that to be free, and all you have to do is have a spirit of, hey, you willing to learn and network and to grow. That's all you need to be there. So just being there, I felt at home, and I was amazed. Like, this is right here. I didn't know this was here. So,
Yeah.
but it's one of them things, man. It's just it's an indescribable
yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, so when I looked at the map, I saw it was on the water. So I was like, okay, that's dope. That's dope. But then when you actually physically drive up to it, it's almost like when you watch the movies and the hedge fund investor works down Wall Street in New York, but they live in Connecticut, and they take the train and then they get in their car and then they drive out to their house and it's this long drive. And then once you get to the end of the drive, it opens up to this huge mansion kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was the feeling that I got like when we drove into that circle and the driver let us out like in front of the school and we walked in and it was like we walked into like a mansion, right? Because the night before the mixer, and please forgive me, brother, I forget the brother's name, but there was a brother that was there who actually was the builder that did all the renovations
Okay. Okay.
for that space. It was a brother, it's a black guy, and he actually went in and he did all the renovations for that space. And he was telling me about it the night before. And I was listening to him. I was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, you got to go see this. You got to go see that. And I'm kind of soaking it in, but I didn't really understand what he was like telling me until we got there.
Yeah.
And when we got there and you walk in, this place is pristine, it's humongous. It has like this, like you said, the feeling, the presence that the space has, and the feeling that it gives you when you walk through the door. It lets you know that Dr. Edwards wasn't playing around. When he said, "Hey, we're about to
Nah.
open this thing back up," you know,
Nah, he
um,
was playing.
yeah, and I hope that everybody will go actually do a little bit of studying about who Dr. Edwards is. Like he's an ex Nike executive. He's worked for some other major brands, but when he took on this endeavor, he did it right.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing
No
done
half
with
stepping.
a shortcut. Yeah,
Mm,
no
not at
shortcuts at all.
all.
No half stepping.
Not at all.
And so what he's provided for all folks that qualify and are able to come and participate and be a part of what Penn Sol Lewis is doing, he's giving them a first class experience. So when you walk out of this place, if you go there as a student, your expectations are going to be way up here. Like, so you're not going to leave that school thinking, yeah, I might go and be like, no, your expectations are already going to be set based on the level of experience that he's already offered to you by the way that he's actually built this building to start, and then how he designed the whole school and curriculum and everything else. So, I just wanted to say that piece, man, because I was just blown away when we arrived on campus. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No
So day
half
two,
stepping.
no half stepping at all, man. No half stepping at all. So with day one, there was an introduction, and then we went into like the auditorium, and we had some panels and stuff like that. Some people came on and talked, and there were some breakouts and stuff like that. You guys kind of talk a little bit, and we don't have to like just keep it into day one, day two, day three. Let's just kind of talk in general about the format and how they had everything set up. Like, how did you guys feel about how the day went and how it unfolded with being able to be all in one room? Then we do a breakout based on what your individual interests are, and then kind of coming back together to culminate the day. Like, how did you guys feel about that? Or just talk about the details, and you can just kind of go. Let's freestyle.
All right. So I
I'll
like.
start this one
Go
off.
ahead, Jay Will.
I think it was a bittersweet, and what I meant by that, there was so much information, so many breakoff sessions that you had to miss some
Mm-hmm.
just to be in some.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be in everything.
Right.
I wanted to last all day and all night because I felt like every room had some information that I wanted to hear and wanted to know about. So them having that much of knowledge to provide and overflow with was amazing. I wish I could have been in every room.
Absolutely.
So like the proximity, I believe somebody else talked about it too. It might have been
Yeah.
Joe, I believe.
It was Joe. Yep.
But the proximity and access to these people in the industry that really you probably wouldn't see anywhere else. Matt Michael, James Whitner, Rose Spit, shoot, Dwayne Edwards, Wilson Smith III, like these names, these big collaborators, these people that have like pioneered the game and kind of like made themselves available. It's like the people that made themselves available to you, you probably would normally be a little nervous to walk up to and talk to anywhere else. You see them outside on the street, like, oh, that's James Whitner. Like, I don't know, should I say what up or just say what
Right.
up and keep going? You say what up to James, she going, that you, what's good? Like, what's going? Like,
Mm-hmm.
the everybody, despite their level of status, stature, or anything like that, welcomed you openly, treated you on the same level. And yes, you know, we're all people, so yes, we're all the same level. But y'all get what I mean? It's like these
Yeah, for
people
sure.
have done amazing things that many of us aspire to do, and it's one of those things that I feel like we could we could touch these people and actually get to know them. You created a level of relationship, and I just think that was dope. I think that was super dope.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love the fact that everybody is so accessible, right? Like
Yeah.
you can reach everybody. I mean, you named a few. James, you got Matt, Rowe, you had Wilson, you had Dr. Edwards, you had Jameson Green. It was so many, and it was like it was an overflow. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was an overflow, but it was in a positive way, right? It was like, you can never fill this cup up enough. You just like pour more, more, more.
Yeah.
And I would say that'd be the only thing. If you don't have the time to allocate to each and everything, then but just being there is good enough, right? It's good enough
Yeah.
just to be there. And when you become more present, like how Dwayne said, like when I first went, I was so nervous, bro, because I didn't know anybody. But then I recognized someone that I knew from the creative space that we follow each other on Instagram. My man Julian Granger, the 13th Chiefy Tribe. I met him, and he was there. He was like, "What's up, man?" And he introduced me, like, "Hey, this so and so, he do this," and I'm like, "Dang, okay."
Yeah.
And then once you start meeting people and you become more present in these spaces like these, people recognize you. And you get Dr. Edwards that'll come up to you. Hey man, you enjoying yourself? Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get J Tips to holler, what up, bro? Ain't saying, how you been? How's the family? Stuff like that. You
Yeah.
get that. And that's what we need. It's that interchange of encouragement in this creative space, right? We need that to keep going. So it was wonderful, man. I know this is your show, Gabe, so I'm not gonna try to
Nah,
ask
do your
questions.
thing, my brother.
But I want
Do
to
your
ask y'all
thing, man.
a question. How did y'all feel the nightlife? Like outside of, once day one was over with, what was y'all impression of the city? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like outside of the BFF. What was that like?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had been to Detroit before, but it's been like years ago.
Hmm.
And it was back when, there were still a lot of abandoned houses and stuff like that. So when I came this time and I saw all of the things that they've done, particularly downtown,
Hmm.
and how they've kind of pretty much made it a destination spot, right? So you get down there and you pretty much got any and everything to do, and it's clean, it's pristine. Everybody's walking around having a good time. The energy's there. So for me, I had a great time. Like, I'm so impressed. It's like I'm encouraging people to go to Detroit just on principle. Like,
Yeah.
if you've never been or if you haven't been in the last 10 years, you gotta go to Detroit because the same level of interest that I have of going to New York or Chicago or DC or LA, I got that same kind of feeling when I was in Detroit. And not only do you have that, but you also have the history and everything else that you got to fall back on for Detroit. So, like, hey, Detroit, man, hey, when they say it's cold in the D, like it got a different meaning now. Like,
Yeah.
Detroit's where it's at. Like, what up, though, for real?
So, nah, I want to echo Gabe. Like when we got to the city, I was like, it's nice as fuck here. Like, why everybody be trying to talk bad? Like, Detroit is nice. Like, I'm looking around like, yo, it's fire out here. They got, like you mentioned, restaurants, like nice buildings. It's clean and pristine. Like I'm like, this can't be the same Detroit people was talking about. Like, it's really nice. And if you've never been to Detroit, it was my first time. But if you've never been, it's definitely a place I would say go. Check out the city. The city is rich with history. You know, big industrial city like manufacturers like Ford and like all the big car manufacturers out here. Like it's so nice. Like I have no other way to say it. Like it's so nice out here. So if you can make it to Detroit, come check it out. And I get it for some that's been to Detroit previously, like Gabe, like 10 plus years ago, or even if you came up in Detroit, this might be the new Detroit, but it's no slack. Like it's nice here. So if you like Detroit, come to Detroit. Or if you've never been to Detroit, come to Detroit and check it out.
Shoot, I gotta say Motown, Motown, Motown. I mean, if we talking about black excellence, entertainment, just going there, I'm stepping where people have stepped who put they all in their craft to make noise and to make our voice as black people heard. It's a blue collar city. It's hard work. It's all that. It's a grit city, which I can appreciate being from Atlanta. Traffic was not bad at all.
At all.
Right? It was a game going on. You can still move in traffic, but do not be in the city of Atlanta when there's games going on. No way, no how. It was a beautiful city. It was a beautiful experience, and the pizza.
Oh,
Yes,
buddies,
the
buddies,
pizza, buddy. Hey, buddy. But I'm gonna have to fly some buddies over here to Atlanta. Whoa.
Yeah, man. Dwayne is a second generation Detroitan now. Dwayne been here now. Now he been here. He left and came back, man. So it was good to see. I just wanted to lament too that it really left an impression on me because I went. I had no idea, Gabe, you were going this year. I had no idea. I knew Dwayne was going. Me and him communicated previous to like a couple months, I think, when he was getting his room and getting all his arrangements put together. He was asking me for different locations, and but I had no idea you were going. So when I seen you guys, I was hyped. I was like, oh man. And it was just like we all just clicked, man, and that was just that synergy was through the roof, and it just left a lasting impression on me. Like I told Dwayne, it left a lasting impression on me to see you guys. We're all in this sneaker space, and we all have a voice, and we all have different creativity and different vantage points, and to see you guys come out like that together, and it was like, all right, yeah, this is what I crave. I long for that. Like I told Dwayne that like I long for that kind of brotherhood. That left such a lasting impression on me, man, where I raved to my wife about it, my mom, everybody. you know, it was just it was different, man. Dwayne could tell you he came by the crib. I picked him up, came through the crib, and we had a good time, man.
Yeah, no, it's dope, man, to be able to hang out and kind of mob through the city, man. You know, we went into some clubs. You know, when you go into a club, you got to go downstairs. Then, you know, in certain cities, you kind of watching your back, kind of figuring out what's going on, man. But everything felt good, man. The vibe was there. You know, walking through those alleys, and they were very intentional about like the artwork and that kind of stuff that they had going on. They had some Nina Chanel, you know, in one of the alleys. So yeah, Detroit, man. Like I think we can have a whole episode just about Detroit, the city of itself by itself. And you know, I think it's dope, man. I think it's dope. And you know, and kind of getting back over to the event, right? So y'all were talking about all the people that were there, and like, you know, not being nervous about walking up and talking to people. And I also attribute that back to Dr. Edwards too, right? Because he created a space and then created an event to where even people that would normally be kind of standoffish because they got
Mm-hmm.
people tugging at them all the time, they felt good and comfortable by being there walking around without guards up, right? So they were walking around, they were saying hello, they were interacting, they were having multiple conversations back and forth with people. And it wasn't that they were trying to sequester themselves off somewhere else because they knew, first off, why they were there. And then second off, it's because the event and the space is set up in such a way to where it allows them to feel good about doing that. So let me ask y'all a question. So I think any business or any initiative, growth is always like a part of the formula, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think growth does to that type of environment? So you have the freedom and the ability to let your guard down based on how it is now. But as this thing continues to grow, like what how do you guys feel about how that's going to impact, you know, that feeling that we got when we were there?
If I can say something real quick, bro,
Mm-hmm.
I think just to be honest, for real, I think that if this continue to grow, some of us will be on that panel, and some of us will be helping with creativity, and you know, will be some of them shoulders to tug on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think it'll grow to a national level, man. I mean, with the networking portfolio that Dr. Edwards have, like the people like you said, Gabe, if you don't know who Dr. Dwayne Edwards is,
Yeah.
you need to do your research. This guy, he for real. He's serious business. He's not no, you know, just somebody who knows. No, he's up there, man.
Yeah.
And for him to have it like that to that scale, it's just gonna keep growing, man. Because like how we're raving off of it, those that's up. And then these bigger companies, Nike, you know, Saucony and Reebok, they talking about that in their front offices. Hey, we need to be in Detroit in September. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
gonna continue to grow, man. Man, the sky's the limit. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, put a pin in it. I want everybody else to answer too, but that point that you just made, like thinking about the brands that were there, let me tell y'all something. Like I wish like people to go back and watch this. But Reebok and the presence that they had,
Oh
Listen,
yeah, Reebok held it
listen.
down.
They came. Man, when I seen Shaq, bro, I'm like, what? What is Shaq doing here? And I know
listen,
people on the back
The,
end of
yeah,
BFF, man. Like, I'm like, y'all ain't tell me Shaq was coming. Like, it was
bro.
crazy, bro.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
Reebok showed up like the Avengers,
Yeah,
Yes.
like
listen.
yeah, they ain't
in
playing.
game
Yes.
Avengers, not just the regular Avengers. I'm talking
In
about in
game.
game Avengers.
Everywhere. Yeah,
You ain't
everywhere.
lying, bro.
They showed up in a way that I feel like if that was seen nationally, everybody would be looking at Reebok a lot different.
Like,
Yeah.
Like Reebok came show out saying they showed out isn't good enough. Like
Right.
they had any and everybody that any and every like type of person in their group. Like they were very diverse. If it was
mm-hmm.
somebody that you connect with style wise, or somebody that you know was a different race. So like they had everybody to network with anybody, and they were fly. The kicks was like we seen models before they released, and I was like, yo, that's Reebok, like
Right.
So it's like they listen. They set the bar. Like all I can say is, if y'all not looking at Reebok now, they gonna catch your attention soon.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah,
they got some stuff on the way.
no doubt.
Yeah, the piggyback off Reebok came in and showed out. Saucony came in there, very diverse. All the brands, Adidas, Nike was there. I would say they're the most where I thought we were gonna get more from them, but it's Nike. Nike knows they
Yeah.
Nike. But piggybacking off, do you think it would change when it gets bigger? I don't think so, just because the heads create the atmosphere, because they don't create like a seniority. They're like, hey, I'm touchable. Everybody here is going to be touchable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if the heads are acting that way and you don't see anybody being pretentious, then I don't think anything can change in that aspect, because most of the time it's still a word of mouth thing for it to grow. So most of the time you're grabbing other people that, are brought in from someone else. It's not like everybody knows about it. Like someone has to be told about it.
Yeah.
Just because it's still new, it's still a baby in that aspect. So
No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I can agree. As it grows, it's just going to be more welcoming. Like it's like grandma's house when you come, and then all your cousins is there, and then all of your cousins, your older cousins, your parents' cousins, like everybody is there. So it's like the bigger it gets, it's just the more family you gain. It's like I still see it being welcoming. Dwayne Edwards is not going to let a corporate company come over and take this over and make it business. Like he's constantly giving. It's going to be a way to get that free game. That's his whole model. Like, whether you're going for Black Footwear Forum, and somebody mentioned it earlier, everything is free. Black Footwear Forum was free. You did not have to pay to get in. You register online, you're good to go to Penn Sol. All you got to do is submit whatever you submitted, and if you make it, it's free. Like Dwayne Edwards wanted to make or create something that was accessible for any and everyone, when normally it would be gate kept and you would not be able to get in. So he wanted to kick the door down and leave it open for as many people to run through. And that is the most beautiful thing about King Soul, BFF, and this whole, like, just everything. So, like I say, all that to say, like, as this continues to grow, you're just going to gain more family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like we all go to places, and we meet people, we network, we do things. I think this is by far the best opportunity to network within the culture that I've ever had. Like, talk about like the value that you gain from being able to like connect with some of the people that you connected with.
I'll go. Hey, if anybody knows or met me, I'm a fan. If you make content, or you in the sneaker space, designer, color detail, and I know about you, I'm a fan. So I'm running up like a fan. I can do the most sometimes, but I understand the effort and the energy and the concentration, dedication, sacrifice that each person that's in this field is putting. So when I saw everybody, I'm like a kid. Oh, that's so and so. That's so and so. That's so and so. And I'm coming up telling them like, hey, when I watch this, I love this about you. I watch, so I was just excited. And the real reason I started getting outside as a content creator is because I got moments to interact with people that saw what I did and appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's totally different from liking a comment and a DM. When
Mm-hmm.
someone pulls you aside and like, hey, I know you, I love your stuff. It's mind blowing. So I was trying to do that for everybody that I came across that I knew, and even people that I met on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I was coming back the next day like, hey, I watched your stuff. Like, hey, man, that was whoa. Like, it was crazy. Just so the ability to connect with somebody and give them their flowers in a personal connection was the best part and the greatest experience that I got to have several times over that whole weekend.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what really kind of attracted me to this group of fellas that's on here now. We missing a couple, but y'all know how it is. Y'all know what it is. That's what attracted me because nobody in the group is bigger than the culture, right? Nobody is like Jay Will said, man. We're all at the end of the day, we're all fans, right? We
Yeah.
we all get inspired by someone here or there. So I never understood how people in the creative space don't give flowers, bro. Like there's enough flowers and there's enough money for everybody, right?
For
Everybody.
everybody.
It's enough for everybody. And we can disperse it accordingly, man. And it's nothing wrong. It don't make you soft. It don't make you, oh, you a fan or yeah, you're right. I am
Yeah,
a
I am
fan. You know what I'm
a
saying?
fan.
Like
Yep.
like so when you meet these people, man, like you develop different relationships. Now, when they see, oh, that's Jay Will, I remember him. He was at BFF. Oh, that's Dwayne, I remember him. Oh, that's Gabe, I remember. You know, your names start popping up in these people that's up there, right? These people that can literally do some things or make some movements that can change your life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they can change the trajectory of your life, man. You can go in a certain direction because of a relationship you develop and cultivated with someone.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I think being in that proximity, just being around that and being present and being that extrovert, like Jay Will said, that's not being afraid going up to somebody, hey man, I appreciate what you do. And because, you know, somebody might, I think James mentioned it in Free Game. He might, sometimes he have a RBF and, you know, he do be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he be like that. You know, I'm just keeping it real. He be like that, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
dog, come on, bro. Why you trying to look all hard, bro? Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong? But if you get to know him, he ain't nothing like that. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like, and we all four of us that's on here, we met him. So
No
you
doubt.
know what I'm saying? He ain't nothing like that. So, but he has that vibe. But when you crack down that and you get to meet different people, man, they not like that at all. They just
Right.
like us, bro. They breathe the same air we breathe. They like flowers too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like we like flowers. So it is what it is, man. But these relationships that you're able to be able to cultivate, man, it's priceless, bro.
Yeah.
And this
No
creative
doubt.
space, it's priceless.
For sure.
So yeah, so like something Gabe has said earlier, I believe Gabe said it. Like being able to network in a group, you know, like with all of us coming, people are like, hey, let me introduce you to such and such. Gabe like, hey, like Gabe actually low key gave me a good alley. Like I said, I'm aspiring to be a footwear designer. I think it was day 2 of the forum, the actual forum, not day 2 of us being there. I come sit my stuff down. Gabe already in there. I sit next to Gabe. He was like, "Oh, this the guy I was telling you about. This is Dwayne. He da da da." And I'm like, "Wait, what's going on?" But it's like there are people that can connect. It's like I don't. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say. Like you can come together. Like everybody can win, as we said.
Mm-hmm.
There are people speak. I'm sure we've all heard this. There are people speaking your name in rooms you have yet to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this was like one of those places where it played out time and time again. I might be talking to somebody like, "Oh, did you meet Jay Will? Jay Will does da 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 da."
Mhm.
Oh, Gabe, you haven't met Gabe? Oh yeah, like it's everybody's connecting and everybody's open to connect, and
Mhm.
nobody's really looking to like necessarily receive anything, but it's like making those connections are priceless because like D said, a lot of these people we were meeting can change everything in your life like that. Like, so I think that was the beauty of just networking Black Footwear Forum, because it felt authentic. That was one thing. Everything felt authentic. Nothing felt forced, right? So if you're talking with somebody at Black Footwear, they're interested. They're curious. They're asking questions back. There's real discourse. Like, y'all are really talking to each other and exchanging information, and it's authentic, and you feel it. Everybody know when something feels fake or feel forced. But it's like, wow, I just connected with this recruiter at this brand. Oh, he's in charge of seating. Oh yeah, I just met this guy. Like, he's like, okay, whoa, cool. And it's like it was love the whole time. And it was priceless. Like, that whole experience is priceless. It's that feeling of connection is why I will be back every year I can possibly be back.
100%.
It's definitely an intoxicating feeling, bro. You don't want it to end.
Right.
Yeah,
It's intoxicating for real.
that's perfect way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%. When you know immediately that you're coming back before it's even over, like, you already know that. Hey.
Yeah. Can't wait till next year.
Right.
Like, it's only
Absolutely.
Friday, man.
Absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
funny because there's somebody in Atlanta that lives in Atlanta that's from Detroit. Like, they hit me up like almost immediately, like, hey, you in my city? Like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, they kind of connected a little bit there. And, the fact that someone from Detroit is excited about folks going to visit, man, like, and it has nothing to do with BFF. It's just like, you're in my city. Like, that was one thing. But then the footwear forum itself and what it's designed to do, it kind of, y'all all use the battery. Like, it puts that battery in your back, man. It's like,
Yeah.
listen,
Mm-hmm.
because I tell myself all the time, and I've had conversations with y'all about this. It's like, what if I really tried? Like, I have fun with this. It's still organic. It's still, fun. I post stuff for myself. I don't post for like anything else. It's just like, hey, I'm having fun. But, what if, like, I really, really tried, and then you had a connection like a Black Footwear Forum to, like, energize what you're doing, right? So, I think for any person, like someone said earlier, any creator, any person that has any type of buildings within the culture itself, like, this is something that you got to experience at least once, right?
Yes.
For some
Yes.
of us, everybody in these squares right here are all going back, like,
Yeah.
almost every year if we can, right? But for anybody else that just says, oh, I hear what you guys are saying. Listen, we can tell you, but you got to go. Like, you got to go and you got to experience it, because it's something that's almost outer worldly, because the part of the culture that we get, like, on social media, and people, like, trying to jockey for position, stepping on each other's back, everybody arguing and stuff like that. This is not that.
Mm-mm.
At all.
This is a part of the culture. Once again, it goes back to Dr. Edwards. Super intentional about making sure no garbage in, right?
Mm-hmm.
No
Facts.
garbage in.
Facts.
And so all the things that you don't like about the culture, you can go there and you can experience it, and it makes you feel good about being a part of the culture on a day in and day out basis. So, what else you guys got? Let's kind of just do a round robin, and you guys can kind of go through some stuff that you want to talk about, the experience, but then we'll get into, like, you guys talking about what you guys are doing personally as well, but we'll save that towards the end.
Yeah.
So, Jay Will, what, like, anything else about the weekend that you just want to bring forward?
The ladies. I mean, the different ladies that were on the panel, that were a part of the event, the passion they spoke, them being people that have to constantly speak up and provide a voice for other women, other Black women, just them talking about being in those rooms and raising their hand and being the best in the room and outshining and working hard, but also supporting and uplifting. On Sunday, they had a flowers event where you saw all those ladies connecting, networking, just knowing more about them and what they bring to the table, and what they, you know, we know you may know some and there, but just really tapping in and building relationships and seeing how many people are behind the scenes working for the culture that are Black women and brown women, that care and that really love sneakers and love fashion. So that was truly eye-opening and great experience to meet a lot of these different ladies out here doing it. You know, Black Girl Magic
No doubt,
to the
bro.
10.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes,
Darnell,
indeed.
Darnell, what you thinking?
Um, I feel like, man, the experience of the forum was immaculate. You know, we already put that tail on that donkey, man. I think what I took delight out of the most is seeing you guys enjoying yourself in my city. Like I got a certain high from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I got something from that, and um, it was an indescribable feeling, man. That's why y'all couldn't shake me if you tried, right? I was with y'all, man, and it was like, man, you know, finally I'm around like-minded people. Nobody's hating on me. Nobody's saying little slick stuff behind me. I ain't mad at nobody. It's like this is love, man. You feel the synergy between everybody,
Hmm.
and you know, it was just it was just great, man. One moment, man, that I gotta share that I love, bro, that will always play in my brain. Jay Will remember this moment. I think Dwayne, we was all in the same place, but I know Jay Will was right next to me when we were in the downstairs club. I can't even think the name of the place, man.
The Lux
Never been
Club.
Mm.
there.
Yeah,
Deluxe.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We were in there, and this after the event. You know, we in there, everybody letting their hair down. We just chilling out. You know, being dudes. And it was, you know, it was pretty dead. You got the people in there because the game was just over, so it was like a younger crowd. And you know, when we first got there, and I remember when they played that one song, we seen Gabe get turned up a little bit. And I was like, look at Gabe, man. He turned up, man. That's what I'm talking about. And I loved it, bro. It was like to see everybody just in their element, just natural, nobody worried. Like, man, you know, it was dope, bro. It was just, it was that, man. It was all that. And that was just like the icing on the cake, right? Because the form is the form, bro. You gonna
Mm-hmm.
get that. That's definitely a high point in any creative's life.
Yep.
But to have the experiences afterwards, just being us, man, just
Hmm.
being men, black men, man, that was dope, man.
Yeah.
It was just dope for me. I loved it.
No doubt. I agree 100%.
And so I would like to say, like, for everybody listening, like, and hearing us rave about Black Footwear Forum, I want y'all to understand the name is Black Footwear Forum, but it's so much more. It's more than just shoes. It's more than
Mm-hmm.
just people in the industry. And like Jay Will said too, I definitely, because my wife does this too, like, the women there were so powerful and supportive. Like, that Sunday when they did, like, giving each other their flock, so powerful. So that was like beautiful. So it's for, if you're looking to be empowered, like, I can guarantee, I would bet any amount of money that every last one of us left charged up and excited about life, not even just sneakers, just life when
Yeah.
we left. So, like, Black Footwear Forum is the place that is going to feed you the love, the inspiration, the motivation you need to get it done, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, whether it's a painting, a dress, some shoes, shoot, even just connecting with somebody, whatever it is you need to get done,
Hmm.
you're gonna be so charged up after leaving that week. Like, you're gonna be full every day.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, you're gonna be full every day. But when that weekend is done, and like I think Gabe said, you already ready to come back, and it's still going on, like it ain't even over yet. Like, when you feel like, my wife, I told my wife about it so much. She said, "I'm coming next year." Like,
Yeah.
that's how powerful it is. Like, I know we all were beaming, like we all radiated from just the love of the weekend, the camaraderie, the information and not, and we didn't even talk about that. Like the type of information, the people we learned from and heard from, the caliber of people like that were teaching us, like second to none. Like the knowledge gain, education, everything. It was. I said it before. It was priceless. Like, and it was so fulfilling that it's one of them things that I wish I could just hear. This is the feeling. I want you to have it. I want you to feel this in the moment.
Right.
Because it felt so good, right?
Let me. I don't even want to cut you off, but I think this is a big point that you've said it constantly. But someone who's been to a lot of conventions and a lot of space, this was free. And what I mean by that is the amount of powerful people that were in there. It easily could have been something that was charged. And in our culture, not to say that that's a negative, but we see a lot of people charging for experience like this. We see it constantly across the board. Oh, come and get and learn, and you can do this, and you just got to pay $25. No. These were people at the top of their game in the spaces and giving free game. Like, free. Most people are trying to get you to sign. Oh, come take my class for $30, or no, free. Giving goodies, feeding us, playing music, like free. Like we've been to SneakerCon paying how much, and are they free?
All you gotta do is get yourself there.
You know what I'm saying? Just get yourself there. But it also makes you be like, okay, what can I do for free? What can I bring back? Right. Yes, I know we all feel that we get these certain skills, but these skills are not always meant to make money. It's meant to give back because you got the skill from someone else who gave it to you without asking for anything from you. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, can I say this real quick? I'm sorry.
No, you do your thing.
As we rave about Black Footwear Forum, the beauty about it is it's not really just once a year. The National Forum is, if you guys are watching this, look and see if your state or city has a local chapter. Because there are Black Footwear Forum chapters all across the country. So if you can't wait till next year like we can, try to get involved with your local chapter. And I'm not even like affiliated, but the experience was so beautiful. Like Dee said, like it's intoxicating. You want it again. And you may have that opportunity in your city. I don't know all the cities. I know it's one in Atlanta. I'm sure it's one in Detroit, Boston, and some other places. But log on to Black Footwear Forum. Or I think it's blackfootwearforum.org maybe. But log into it, find it, just Google it, and see if your state or city has a chapter, and check it out. And even if it's not all that you expect there, come back to the National Forum next year. Like, it is a beautiful thing. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, you guys can follow BFF on Instagram, man. They like Dwayne said, they got, I think Black Footwear Forum is coming up in Boston pretty soon, within the next couple weeks or so. I don't know the exact date, but it's not just Detroit. It's the PLC homecoming, but it's just not Detroit. But yeah, y'all should check it out, man. Everybody check it out.
No doubt, yeah. I signed up for the Atlanta local chapter, and they sent me an email today. I need to take a look at. And one last thing that I'll say about that weekend is that I was also very happy to see that they were intentional about bringing local Detroit folks there, or local, even Michigan folks, right? Because like Jamerson, he's from Flint, but he's a local guy, per se, right? So having him there, having Roe there, having some other folks there that actually are a part of what's going on in Detroit. Like I think that was really dope to make sure that they were there, they were highlighted, and then also being able to connect the dot generationally, right? So they had April Walker that was there, who goes all the way back to the 80s, and how she almost could call herself a pioneer of streetwear, right?
Legend.
And then you had our girl that was on stage, moderating, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeanette. Yeah. So for there to be generations that are brought into one space to break down all the barriers, all the walls, and be able to communicate and talk with each other, help each other, fuel each other. Like, I don't know if, I don't think that there's another place that you can say that this is happening. Complex Con, Sneaker Con, whatever your local jadig that you got going on locally in your, local spot. Like, there's nothing going on in the culture in the United States that I know of that can touch this, right? So everybody just clear your calendar, man. Like, just make
Yeah.
space for it. And Darnell, man, being able to meet you, bro, like,
Yeah.
it's like I've been knowing you all my life. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
Walk up on the scene, man, not only being hospitable, man, but it's literally like I've always known you. Like, I don't, there's, I met you that weekend in person for the first time, but it's like I had known you forever, bro. And, for you to extend the right hand of fellowship,
Thank you, man.
welcome us to your city, man, and your
Yeah.
wife, because, and,
Big shout out
God
to
bless
Philly.
her, man, because she was hanging tough, man. And I know I had got them together and said, listen, we keeping them out too late, man. Y'all gonna get them in trouble.
Nah, she gave me the pass. She was like, I'm texting her while we out Friday night. She like, go
Yeah,
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't do nothing, bro. I'm like, when people was asking me, it's funny, Mark and some I forget the VP he introduced me to, and they were asking me where spots to go. I'm like, dude, I'm the lamest nightlife guy in Detroit. When it comes to the nightlife, I have no nothing. You can come see me about some kicks or whatever, sports, whatever.
Yeah.
Nightlife, I'm lame, bro. I don't know nothing, man. So I just appreciate being able to be in that position and be able to show that hospitality. And I thank y'all, man, for not one of y'all made me feel awkward. Like, man, you know how you get it with a group of guys sometimes, and it's always maybe that one guy that's just kind of, standoffish or a little bit. None of us was like that, man. So shout
Nah,
out to
bro.
Joe. I know Joe is watching, man.
I
I
know,
love that
Joe. What
brother
up,
so much,
Joe?
man. Yeah, man. I love Joe, man. Shout out to him. And, it was my first time meeting Jay Will. So, Jay Will and Mo, my first time. I knew Dwayne and Gabe and Joe from social media, but that was the first time of us meeting all in person.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it was just, man, it was, I can't, I'm speechless, bro. It was,
Yeah, man.
and then, like, just to kind of piggyback again, just to kind of put an emphasis on what Jay Will and what everybody been saying, it was free, bro.
Free.
It was free.
Listen,
Like,
Free.
you're
it
not going
don't
to
be
go,
no
like you
free if it
said,
ain't
Gabe,
free.
you're not going to no function, no nothing with these type of people in these positions in this space and not pay a dime to hear them speak. And then not only to hear them speak, to give you resources that's there, but also to be approachable, to be humanized. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because we put them on platforms at times.
Yeah.
But you talk to Wilson Smith, man, this dude was giving
Man.
me a hug. This dude was, but
Yeah.
I met him before, but when I first met him, I was wearing his 17s to pay homage. And it was like, this dude is the most humblest, like regular, just, you
Act
know what
like
I'm
he don't know
saying?
who he is.
Yeah, bro. Like, this dude is a legend, man.
Yeah.
You know who this guy is? This dude's a legend.
So for those
And it's
What's up,
like,
Johnny?
bro,
that don't know, my
yeah,
bad.
man.
For
No,
those that
bro.
don't know,
We.
Wilson Smith III is the first black footwear designer
Yes.
really in the modern age, but with Nike as well. He's
Mm-hmm.
created a lot. If you're a 90s baby, he created a lot of the sneakers that was part of your childhood. And that's
Facts.
why I said, like, he act like he don't know who he is. Like, yo, he was so welcoming, so opening, so like, oh yeah, it's not try to act like, oh no, no, like,
Genuine, bro.
no, bro, like you're him, like
You're him. Timothy Smith.
Absolutely.
Johnny's kicks
Absolutely.
was going on, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So to be able to have this experience and then to be able to experience with y'all, man, like made it that much better
Yeah.
because like I said, if I had to go by myself, I likely would not have gone this year. I know at some point I probably would have gone because you know, I know a part of what I'm trying to do is expand my footprint and like get out there and make sure that I'm plugging into the right people. Because like I pride myself on being able to connect the dots, but if I don't get out
Mhm.
there and meet the right people, then I don't know who to connect the dots with. So being able to like be a part of that, but to be able to experience it with y'all, man, and then to know that we about to like turn this thing up a whole nother like notch.
Man,
Exactly.
and next year gonna be different.
Uh,
I'm taking
Woo!
time off work.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Woo!
time off work next year. It's gonna be a little different.
You ain't gonna miss the mixer next year.
And going next year, man. You know, we were rolling off like 2 hours sleep, man. But it was
Bro.
like, listen, it's the most incredible thing that I've ever been a part of in the culture,
yeah.
by far, by way of events. And to know the caliber of people that we're going to have the opportunity to have access to year in, year out, you know, it's a no brainer. Like, if we have the opportunity, the means, and the time to get there, shame on us for not being there,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And you know, like when I went to corporate's event about a little bit over a year ago when they released their airship, and I did a recap with Miss Jones because she lives there in Cincinnati. I was hesitant to do a recap on this because this thing is so big to the point to where it's like, do I qualify to even like talk about this thing? You know what I'm saying? But Jay Will was like, nah, dog.
Now you
Listen.
gotta tell them. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, to be able to come on here and do this recap and to know, you know, that, you know, hey, listen, it's called the Soul Brothers. Like, it's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And to know that that has grown into something the roots are already there, right? And it's sprouted and it's growing, and we got this incubator, this built-in incubator to take our thoughts, our ideas, and to grow those things that Dr. Edwards has put into place for us to come take advantage of. Like, gonna take full advantage of it, man. Full advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's wrap this thing up. So, Darnell, tell the folks how to find you, man.
You guys can find me Universal Footgear, UNIVERSOLE Footgear on IG and YouTube. Man, I'm a content creator, do shoe reviews. I have a podcast. The UFG podcast also is an Instagram, a different second page just strictly for my podcast. Season 2 is on the way. Make sure y'all tap in, man. And I like to say my little Jay Will kind of got me motivated on saying my little closing statement. You know what I'm saying? You know, keep making noise until somebody hear you, because one day they gonna hear you.
Facts.
Trust me,
Yeah.
they
Facts.
gon' hear you. And when
They
they
gonna
do
hear you.
hear you, you stay ready so you never have to get ready, bro. So,
Facts.
man, I appreciate you, Gabe. Thank you for letting me be here with y'all, man. I appreciate all y'all, everybody watching, Mo, Joe, man. I love y'all so much, bro, from the heart, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the, making room for me in this space, man.
Absolutely, man. You made room for us, brother. So,
That's a fact.
yeah, yeah. Jay Will, what you got, brother?
So again, my name is Jay Will. You can find me on IG, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, but Jay Will Walk It, Talk It. Um, the government name is Jonathan Williams, so you'll find that some places too, but just call me Jay Will. Also work at Soul Play. So when you in the city in Atlanta, we got 2 locations, Decatur and Lawrenceville. So definitely check that out. And man, just loving this. I mean, I really love sneakers like a kid because where I first fell in love with sneakers. And like when I get to talk sneakers and I get to be around other people that love sneakers, I get that feeling, you know what I'm saying, that I felt as a kid, and I'm always chasing that. So I'm a big kid at heart. Anybody that knows me is gonna say that, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of a fan, and I will show everybody love and give everybody flowers because to take the moment to make a piece of content or to put artwork down and provide it to the world is hard. There's so many things that
Mm-hmm.
we as creators do not put out because we're fearful. And all the things that we have put out, I champion everybody that's taking time to show a piece of themselves to the world. So, hey, that's me. Come see me. Come DM me. Hey, I'm here.
No doubt.
All right, guys. So my name's Dwayne. Kicksmusicart on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all the other ones. Most that I don't use. I'm working on some things right now. I can't really talk about it. It's something very exciting. I can't wait to tell y'all about it. But just stay tuned to the page. Um, yeah, and stay
Kicktober.
inspired. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you.
I was going to
So
remind you.
Kicktober is currently underway. If you have not joined in, it's not too late. If you don't know what Kicktober is something I created a few years back for content creators or sneaker lovers. Every day there's a prompt and you have content for the full month of October. So today's prompt was your Mount Rushmore of kicks. So your top 4 sneaker silhouettes you could list. But just check out the page, Kicks Music Art. And it's pinned to the top for all the prompts for the month. Kicktober merch is on sale, so check the website. The hoodies and sweatshirts will be loaded tomorrow, but it's the same designs. Yeah, man. Thank y'all. Cause look, see, this is why you have your brothers with you. That they keep you on your toes, so whenever you slip. But yeah, man. Kicktober, Kicks Music Art. That's it. That's me in a nutshell. Special announcements coming soon.
Right. No doubt. Give a shout out to Bet Every Day, the hoodie that you're wearing too.
Oh yeah, big shouts out AC.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, I'm Gabriel Fortson across all social platforms. This show, the state-specific show, is set up to highlight the local sneaker culture throughout the world from a grassroots perspective, because a lot of times people think that, it's entertainers and stars that drive the culture, but that is so false. It's people that are 10 toes down, in the streets, front lines of the culture that's actually driving it forward. So, the thing that this show does is highlight that, right? And we wrapped season 5 a few weeks ago, and we're moving into season 6. But before we move into season 6, we're going to go into a true podcast format, which is a little bit frightening. But we're gonna move into that podcast format so that people can have more access to the content that we're putting out there. There are some people that want to be guests on this show that don't necessarily like IG lives, right? So they would much rather be in a podcast format. So it kind of opens up the door for a more broad, robust guest list and things of that nature. But, our focus is the grassroots. Our focus aren't necessarily like big names and stuff like that. It's the people that are on the front lines, pushing the culture forward. So want to say thank you guys for rocking with me. I want to say shout out to Greg, who would be the co-host for the State Specific, but he obviously, IG Live only gives you 4 boxes, and, we wanted to get Joe on. Darnell, brother, I know how we promoted this thing. We had Mo out there. Mo had some stuff pop up, but I'm so glad that you were able to jump in now, because actually being able to have the Detroit perspective of BFF, we were going to do it tomorrow night. We were going to get on and do it again, but, we went ahead and checked that box off. But being able to have everybody on would have been a possibility with a true podcast format, right? So we would have had the capabilities of doing that. So we're trying to take off the restraints, man. We're trying to put ourselves in a position where we can thrive and spread wings a little bit further. So I want y'all to make sure that you're following everybody who's in one of these boxes right now. Make sure that you go follow them, check out their content. It's all organic, man. It's all for the culture. It's all real. There's nothing manufactured. There's nothing. There's no motive that is against the culture behind it. It's a matter of pushing the culture forward for everybody who's in on this show and everybody that we connect with. So thank y'all for tuning in with us. We're gonna post this back on everybody's page so that you can go back and take a look at it when it's all said and done. But the State Specific show will be coming back to you season 6 in a podcast format, December, January-ish, something like that. But we're gonna keep it moving. Hey, appreciate y'all. Hey, have a great week, brothers. Appreciate y'all, man.
Free.
All right, y'all. Free.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.